All right, all right, all right. Happy Sunday, happy Sunday. What a day, what a day. Man, what an awesome day, man. A beautiful day, a day that we haven't seen before. Oh, man. Hey, folks, I just want to hit you on something. It's been on my mind for a minute. I saw this post out here. And it's talking about, I guess the time frame is about the 40s and 50s. It's older black women. They're talking about the Messiah, how much they believe in on him, how much they're depending on him, and how he's going to take care of some things, which he will. But then later on, you can see where they still waiting, we still waiting, like their faith was in vain, believing into the Messiah, believing on God the Almighty. Folks, let me tell you something, and this is a black post. This is what gets me about us. I don't know, we get a little knowledge, and we start putting our hopes and our so-called faith in the universe, and so Egyptians ancestors or some African ancestors, and we think we all right. We think we sit in, and then we start trusting ourselves and our little money. Hello, and whatever we have, our little job or whatever, and then he is obsolete in our life. That's why we have so many problems down here. That's why we're in a chaotic situation all over the world, and especially those United States. It's chaos and confusion because we done took our mind, our sight off of him. Because see, when we start focusing on him, he left something behind, which is the recipe book. There's rules and regulations and discipline. And a lot of us, we don't want that. We want to do our own thing. We free. We can do what we want to do. We're not bound to nobody. We're forgetting that we was created in the image of him. We're some masterpieces. Come on, folks. For God to know how much hairs on your head, every strain, even if you're bald-headed, that's too powerful. Can't fight a God like that. Ramses found out. Pharaoh, he couldn't fight the God of Moses. He couldn't. He lost his life thinking he could. Now some of us black folk out here, and I don't see it. It's sad. And this weakens us. Because this comes from the demonic chain back here. The demon has a place. It's reserved for him. And it's going to be reserved for others who's practicing him. Who's going along with his foolishness. One, the third of the angels that's left the coast up there. They're in demonic form. And we should know this because it's in the book. It's in the recipe book. But let me hit y'all on something. I can't stay too long with this. Let me hit you, let you know how real he is. Some of y'all, depend on the time frame. See, some of us, we didn't come up with a silver spoon or whatever you want to call it. We come up a little tight. Again, that's why we was dependent on him. And now some of us, we're making our own money. We're doing this and that. We don't need him no more. But every now and then, we get in a tight. Money might get short or whatever. And we might tell mama, dad, somebody close, best friend, or brother or sister, man, I misplaced some money, man. I don't know, this pay some bills too much, man. I'm kind of tight. Well, you might tell somebody. That's scenario A. And B, you might not tell nobody because you might be a little bit embarrassed to be tapped out for some funds. But one thing about it, you leave that threshold of your door. Whether you go to the mailbox and you look in there, and usually, man, on certain days, they have these different flyers and coupons and stuff, all stuffed in there. It can happen this way and can be in there. Sometimes there's a letter by itself from an insurance company, a place where you trading with, and you open it up and it says, well, we checked our records and we have overpaid, you've overpaid and we sending this refund, or you can skip this month and pay next month or the end of the year, whatever, but here's a check, whatever. How does that happen? They didn't know you was in a tight of money. Who knew? Him. The Almighty knew. And you look around and you trying to, man, what time the bank closed? Let me get over it. That's one scenario. The other scenario, you walk out somewhere, out of the store, out of your house, before you get to your car or wherever it is, and you look on the ground, ain't nobody around. Because I'm talking about you looking at the logical stuff, reason why something happened for those who don't believe in him. Every now and then we see somebody, they might drop some money or something, and say, hey man, you dropped something right there. Or you so desperate you don't tell them, you go up there and get it anyway. Hello, somebody done been there. But there's a point right here where you go, there's nobody around. And that money just laying there waiting. Hey, look, pick me up. Here I am. I know you. And you thinking, well, wait a minute. How did I get down there? Who knew that I need this money in my pocket? He did. And he set it there for you. Somebody done been there. And you can't explain it. Or you can just put it back in your head, man, somebody just drop it there. But why come nobody else ain't picked up? But when you the one that was hurting, how come nobody else ain't come along and got it? 4 or 5 people done walked through there. But it was sitting there waiting on you. Especially the time of the day. You mean anybody seen that money but me? It was set up for you. See, your blessing's for you. And I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes that blessing is big enough to bless somebody else, folks. Oh, man, you can't bless nobody with your hand closed. And you can't get a blessing with your hand closed either. Hand always got to be open. You changing, you blessing somebody, you giving, you receiving, you giving. The book said, the recipe book said, it is blessed to give than receive. But every now and then you receive something. Oh man, this gets me on this right here, and I gotta get out of here. 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 1 through 7. Oh man, talking about God's man, Elisha. Before the story gets set up, there was a woman that she was a widow, her husband had died. And you know, she's at the house, her 2 boys, her sons, and they get a knock on the door, man, and you know, and she comes to the door, and there's a guy said, hey, I'm looking some so-and-so. He said, he owed me some money, I'm coming here to collect. And she tells the man, well, my husband dead. I didn't know he had this, debt like this. He said, well, look here, if you can't come up with the money, those your 2 boys right there? I said, yeah, those are mine. He said, well, I might take them into bondage then. She said, oh, no, please, don't take my son, my only 2 sons there. See, keep in mind, this woman thinking, man, her mind that went back. She done carried them boys 9 to 10 months, birthed both of them. And now all of a sudden they're going to get into some slavery situations. Come on, folks, put ourselves in this woman's position. We done been there. Don't know where the next dollar coming from. Don't know a bill happening to come up and then you got to try to pay it some kind of way. And you don't know what to do. But man, so I give you some more time to come up with it. And if not, I'm going to have to come back and get your sons. And the woman is sad. She's dropping her head. And the boys, they probably heard and they looking around. And you're like, Mom, we gonna be some slaves, Mom? No, keep it. I don't think so. And all of a sudden, get a knock on the door. The man of God comes in, Elisha. And she tells him the story. He said, well, man, what you want me to do? She said, well, my husband, he knew the master while he was living. Let me tell you something, folks. Let me throw this in here. You know how it used to be said, some of our grandmamas and great-grandmas used to pray for us long when we were small or going through something. And every now and then somebody might, hey, grandmama, can you get a prayer in for me? Can you pray for me? Sometimes, folks, our fathers and our mothers, with our reputation, when we dealing with him, some of that residue come off on us. That's why we got to worry about this lineage, this heritage, who our name is. We just can't go out here just doing anything and saying anything. Because we representing somebody, especially when it comes to the black folks. Oh, man, and Elijah, God's man, said, I tell you what you got in here? What's valuable in here? Maybe we can take it and get some money off of it. She said, I got nothing. I guess I got some, handsmaid got some oil over there. Oh. Presuming it may be olive oil. It says oil. Oil was a good commodity back then. And keep in mind, this container, whether it's this small or this big, it's just had one container of oil. He said, go into the neighborhood and borrow some vessels and see what you got resting in the house. He said, then close the door behind. I want you to fill it up. Fill up these vessels full. Not half empty, not half full, but full. On fantastic. And set it to the side and do the other one the same way. Get plenty of them now. Get through, you come back to me. So he sat there and she told the boys, look here, y'all go over there and borrow some from over there. Y'all go borrow. Let me get what I can get in the house. So they got all the vessels together. Hey, come on, folks. I know it sounds strange, but when you dealing with him, the Almighty, ain't nothing too hard for him. And ain't nothing impossible for him. Oh, man, she done what the man said. They brought all the stuff in. Mom, we got everything. She said, give me one of them. And there she was, pouring them all up till it's full and setting them to the side. Out of this one container now. Where all this oil coming from? Oh, there's a song out there. He said, he'll pour out a blessing for you. But man, I tell you what, this woman was getting a blessing. He poured out a blessing for her because she kept on filling up these containers, kept on filling them up, and they all filled up. And she said, well, look here. Give me another one. I said, Mama, that's it. Read it. Mama, that's it. We don't have no more. What? That's all that is. Yeah, Mom, we got all that stuff full. Look, she still had some left, folks. She still had some left. Oh, she go back to the prophet. Yeah, God's man. Elisha, he said, you done what I told you to do? She said, yes, what you need me to do now? I said, I still got a little bit left. He said, I want you to take it to the marketplace. Sell what you have. And when you get your money back, he said, when that man come back here looking for his money from your husband, that he owe that man, he said, you go and pay him and rest the money. You go ahead and put you some money for you and your sons, and y'all have enough to get you some food and stuff like that, and y'all have enough. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And that's what they did. No doubt. I mean, she still had all that, folks. Now the people all, the vessels that they borrowed from the neighborhood. Now, they had to be, they couldn't hold it in their hands. So what you do? Well, those other people might be in the strain. Wasn't no oil in their vessels, wasn't it? But they could have took some oil back, or they could have blessed them with some money. Let me tell you something, folks. When he bless you, it's more than enough. It's an abundance. You can bless somebody. So can you imagine a neighbor? Can I get one of your containers? Yeah, when you gonna do it? Don't break it. And then you give it to them, and they come back either with some oil in it, because they can do the same thing too. Or here's some change for letting us, you borrow your vessel. Here's your vessel, and it's clean. They washed it out. You done blessed them folk. Who knew that woman was in a tight like that? Nobody but him. And the man of God comes to her house. Folks, you don't never know where your blessing is. Keep on thinking. Some of you all are here thinking God ain't real. Think he's just a joker. It's a white man's thing. Keep on thinking, because I find it very offensive. Because out of my 48 years, I know he exists. I done see him do some things that there was no possible logical reasoning for it. Not only in my eyesight, some folks become before me and handed down some things, how good the master's been good to them. Folks, put yourself in that woman's position. You was broke, you was towed down. Like this COVID-19, this money done got tight on some of us out here. Sometimes food can get tight and you don't know what's going on. Who can you depend on? Don't try to depend on this body or even your sexual anatomy to go out here and try to make $1 or $2. You depend on the man upstairs. And he always gonna show up. And when he show up, he shows out, and he's on time. You might not, old folks say, he might not come when you want him to come. But when he show up, man, he's on time. And you know it's him, because there is no other entity that can deal with your problem but him. He deals with you on a personal level. He dealt with that woman on a personal level. Everybody get blessed different ways and different circumstances. And the key word is blessing. Blessing come right out of that book. And they come right out of him. Come on, folks. I'd rather have a blessing than some curses. I hope this helps somebody. And if it don't still, keep living. And some folks are half 100 right here and done come to the conclusion in their life that God don't exist. That the Messiah don't exist. That he's not coming back. Folks, look around you. 178,000 deaths in America. And the United States of America alone, all this death all around us. A virus that we can't see with our eyes. Some of us don't even believe it. I think it might be a hoax. It's a population control, whatever it is. It ceased to live in its body. You both can't coexist. And it is through the grace of God that someone be able to recover from that. And you still gonna have some issues if you recover. And there are some folks don't recover. 5 days, 7 days, they gone. You got to quarantine yourself. Now you got to think of down the road, because where in the book of James said, once it's appointed for man to die and then the judgment. This is what the universe and the Egyptians and African ancestors they don't deal with this. It's the next life, the afterlife. And it shouldn't scare you at all. But you're going to be afraid when you don't have this in your heart or your mind and you don't have him. Come on, folks, watch what we believing in. Watch who we hanging around with. Because, see, the demon, he's forever busy. He don't get tired because he's a spirit. He don't get tired. The book said what he is. He's like solemnity. Similar. He's like a roaring lion. But every now and then a lion don't have to roar to scare you off. If he's trying to get you, he goes into stealth mode. He can't come head up. He got to come from over here. He got to go from over there. So he going to come in your family members, people that you love, people that you care about. He going to come from somewhere, somebody on a job. Might be from the church house. He going to come some kind of way to get your mind. And that is your greatest weapon to fight. But you can't fight. Can't use this weapon if you don't have it loaded. What has it got to be loaded with? Some ammunition. And the ammunition has been left here. That's your fighting power. That's why I'm continuing to fight every single day. Death doesn't bother me. I have to continue to get my girls prepared for death. Death doesn't scare me. It's this great transitioning that's going to have to happen. And the problem is with why we start believing other stuff, we don't have a time frame on this thing. We don't know what time it's going to be. See, if we knew what time we're going to die, we'll start getting things in order. Hello? But so what the demon does, he tell you got plenty of time. So you just live haphazardly and you just believe that I'm going to be here. I might die and come back as a dog or some animals or a bird or a fish or something. Come on, folks. I put this video out here for those who don't believe. And I can come up with a whole lot of stuff in this book to let you know that he's real. And he's real all by himself. And I'm just a young man. That's why it takes our older generation who done seen some things we probably will never even see. Some of us done seen him show up. Like I said before, I done seen him show up and can't believe it. Come here, let me hit this. I got this one more I got to hit you with. And this on the real. Man, I started this job, man. It was a nice job, man. This was way back in the 90s. And, man, I got my first paycheck, man. And I was so happy, man. Big old paycheck, too, man. So I'm going to put my money in the bank. What bank did I go to? I went to SunTrust at the time. And they said, well, you know, we ain't going to be able to do nothing for you right now. You know. And I don't know if it was a black thing. Shouldn't have been no credit issues. But they couldn't. I said, well, I'm gonna deposit this, and we can't help you here, folks. Let me tell y'all something. It's in the daytime. I went to 3 banks, and as I got on Interstate 40, going 40 east, heading back to the house, wasn't nobody in that car but me. Come on, he's not real. Wasn't nobody in the car but me. Hey, look, I need you to go to SunTrust Bank at the Bellmead location. I ain't going down there. I'm talking. I'm not going down there. I done got turned down 3 times. I ain't going down there. I need you to go to the SunTrust Bank at the Bellmead location. I'm hot. I'm mad. I'm furious. And I'm talking to something that done hit my mind, folks. I'm not lying to you. That's on my girls. I jumped off the interstate. Got back on. I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm going out here for. I'm driving, don't know why I'm going. Cause I done been turned down 3 times. But this voice hit me in my head and not only tell me what bank, what location. Y'all ain't hearing me. I'm trying to get out of here. Man, I pulled up at the Bellmead location. In the heart of Bellmead. At that SunTrust Bank. Right down the street from St. Thomas Hospital. Yeah, at the time. I go on there, I had me check the envelope. I'm like, man, I don't know why I'm going in here. Oh, man, this woman sat down at the table. And she's a black lady. And I'm not going to say it was about a black or white thing. I'm not saying that. She said, sir, can I help you? And, man, the chair was facing her. Let me tell you what I did. I was so distraught. I took the chair and turned it sideways. I didn't even want to talk to the woman. Because somebody done sent me down here. And I'm like, man, I'm tired of getting turned. I've been turned down 3 times. Same day. I took out the envelope and I said, well, I'm open up an account and I'm going to put some money in it and probably take about 25 with me or something. She said, okay, that shouldn't be no problem. And she got to go on and I know the procedure. Can I see some ID and stuff? I said, went through that. The next step, what got me? like I said, this is way back in the early stage when bank cards were coming out. You had to pick your PIN number. So either before they had the keypad thing, they had to turn the little keyboard around so you can put it in on yourself. She said, "Can you pick a 4-digit code for your card?" And I knew then the blessing was on. I was froze. I looked at her and she looked at me like, "Bro, you gonna put your code in, or you gonna?" I thought you said you come in to open up an account. I know this one went through a woman's mind, because I'm sitting there froze. I'm trying to figure, how did I get this far? And because 3 banks done turned me down. Had the same check, same clothes, but as a voice told me where to go. And I went on, put it in. She said, "Let me go get this thing deposited and get your receipt back, and I'll be back right. And we're going to give you a temporary card, and so you have access to your funds." Man, I'm sitting there amazed, shocked. Still can't believe it. She came back with everything. "Mr. Clay Brooks, everything okay? Everything is all right. Here you go. You have a nice day." I walk out. The door, looked up in the sky. Dropped my head. Looked up in the sky again, got in the car, sat down, turned the ignition key, started back on. I jumped on White Bridge Road. Some of you know where it's at. Then I got on the main interstate. That's how I'm going down the interstate. I couldn't do nothing but cry. Tears just coming down my face. Because I knew at that moment he done showed up. And he showed out. He knew nobody else knew I needed an account but him. I went to 3 banks. But he told me to go to that one. And which one? And I was fighting and kicking, didn't want to go. But I got down there and I got a blessing. For some of you folks out here that don't believe God is real, keep living. Don't let him have to show you in a bad way, in a destructive way. He ought to be able to show you in a blessing way. Hey, folks, stay up out here. Be safe out here. Be safe. Until next time.